Kelsi, congrats on the win. I'm sure that you'd prefer not for the heart to have to race that much, but what?
That would be nice.
Yeah, just what do you think of your team being able to pull this one out whenever, it really took a late comeback?
I think the biggest thing is we stayed gritty. We didn't ever lose our fight, and we didn't just roll over. We found a way to just be gritty, and we found ways. We made some big buckets, we made some big free throws, and then we finally started playing some intentional, communicative defense.
Just what did you think changed over the last minute or so of regulation that carried into overtime for y'all to outscore them 15-2?
I think that we kind of had the momentum. We were able to get some big stops. We hit that big three to tie it up and they still had 12 seconds to try to get a shot off. So I think that momentum, those last, like you said, the last about 2 minutes carried over because we had to make some big shots. I mean, we had to finish at the rim. We hit that big three at the end. We really turned up our defensive pressure to try to get some tips and just really disrupt them. And I felt like that defensive pressure, those big shots really did carry over for us into that overtime. And then, our preseason gave us legs in that last 5 minutes.
What was the conversation, in the timeout with 12 seconds left when that, both teams are in the bonus, so you can't foul them, but they're going to probably get the last shot?
The biggest thing is we had to play. We had to communicate. We were in a switch mode right there. But the biggest thing is no threes, no fouls. We don't want to give them anything easy. If they make a hope shot, then so be it. But we are not gonna bail them out. We have to wall up, contest, and we have to get the rebound, and then we'll live with the results at that point.
Coach, they came out pretty aggressive from the very start. Tony's teams are known for their shooting, and this year he's obviously got a lot of depth. Just kind of talk about Bonnie was the one that kind of kept you guys close during when they were making their run. Just talk about her a little bit during that run.
I think during that run we did keep it close, and we were able to kind of bond together, and she made some big buckets. Her defense, we really did start picking up our defensive pressure, and then we got down, but we still found a way to be gritty and gut it out and share the basketball and just find ways. I mean, even when we missed some shots that we probably shouldn't have, we made some defensive errors, we still stayed gritty, we still stayed tough, and we still stayed the course till the very end, until the final buzzer, because you're not out until the final buzzer sounds. And I love the fact that my team just stayed gritty and kept fighting.
Was there a point in the game where you finally could just kind of take a deep breath and say, okay, we got this? Was it I think one of your players said that it was when you guys tied and went in overtime. What do you think?
Yeah, I think there was a time before that at a timeout. I told him to quit playing not to lose and play to win. I think this team has to find a way, we have to, sometimes you have to find ways to win, and sometimes you have to learn how to win again. And so I think this team did that today, in the fact that I was like, stop playing not to lose and start playing to win, start playing and doing what we need to do. We didn't execute at the level in which we needed to, especially in the last couple of games, but at the end of the day, we got it done and we found a way. And that momentum and that confidence, I think, led us into that overtime by hitting that big shot. And then, those last 5 minutes, I thought we turned it up a notch and really, finally settled down.
Yeah, right before Emily hit the shot that tied the game, you guys got the stop and got it across half court, and I kind of was just instinctively expecting a timeout to come that didn't come. How much are you guys working on late game situations like that, and how much, I guess, does the flow of the game maybe dictate those kinds of decisions?
I think the one thing we're good at within the dribble drive is I've got 5 players who can score on the floor at any given time. And I trust that any of my players that are in the game, I have that confidence that any of them have the opportunity to score. I feel like in some moments, if I call a timeout, then it allows the defense to set up. They can get in certain situations. They could try to run a zone and mix it up on you. But in the flow of the game, it's hard for him to scream something out and try to get in it. And so we are in the flow, and we work on penetrating and pitching. We play against our guys on a daily basis. And I told him at the timeout before that, if we get the ball, we are going to go. I'm not going to call a timeout. We are going to flow. We're going to do what we do. You got to get downhill. If you have a wide open layup, we'll take it, and then we'll turn around and get it back, or we'll foul. But penetrate and pitch, and then you got to make a big shot. These are the moments you've been preparing for. Whoever gets that big shot, someone's going to get an open shot, and we're going to knock it down. And we just got to learn how to share the basketball, and we did that in that moment.
And then for Emily to get that shot, obviously you've worked with her for a long time, and just how nice is it for you to see her get that moment? And I think there's a lot of times in the game,
sometimes Emily doesn't get enough credit because she does a lot of little things. She talks, she gets in the right spot, she helps her teammate. She was running the 4 tonight, then she's running the 1. She can run multiple positions and do a lot of different things with the basketball. And she has that composure. She'll get hype and she'll chest bump and she'll go crazy, but at the same time, she's pretty straight faced. You're not going to see tons of emotion in the fact that she doesn't change a lot. She's always going to go hard. She's going to be in the right spots 9 times out of 10, and she's going to do all the little things. And sometimes it doesn't always make the stat sheet, but that shot will be one I promise she'll remember.
And then obviously she followed you here from Oral Roberts. Just how big has she been, just individually, and you kind of trying to set the culture that you're trying to build at Arkansas?
I definitely think she's been instrumental. She's a really good teammate. She's a high character kid, a really good student, and obviously a really good athlete as well. But I think she's really helped all of her teammates understand my expectations, my standard, the way I'm going to coach. She can help teach them things throughout the game. I can't be on the court 24/7, and so she can really distribute that. If she sees something, she communicates that quickly and efficiently with her teammates to help them understand where they need to be within the offense or defense, and she helps fix things quite frequently and tells them where to be. And I just think that's extremely helpful, and I think she's helped us understand the offense at a higher rate.
You mentioned earlier that you thought that the off-season work is what kind of gave you all the extra stamina and overtime. I guess how important is it to have something this early in the season that's tangibly on film that the players can look back to, that their off-season work is paying off?
I think that they didn't just see it, like you said. I think they'll be able to see it on film, but I think they also felt it. And so I think that now they have a better understanding. I always tease them that there's a method to my madness. And I think that tonight it paid off, and they were able to see the fruits of their labor, that those early morning runs paid off, that we were still able to make our free throws, playing 45 minutes. We hit a couple of huge threes down the stretch, still had our legs under us. Our practices are extremely intense as well, and we've been having really long practices, but I think it's paying off, and they understand that games are long and games are hard and games are fast, and we're prepping them every day in practice as a preparation for these moments when the lights come on.
And then UCA's tempo, I guess, given how fast you guys play, did it kind of take a moment to adjust to kind of them trying to slow the pace down and kind of keep control of the ball?
I'd say a little bit, but I think the biggest thing is we didn't get up and guard like we intended. I thought we needed to get up and guard harder early, and we didn't do that until later in the game, and we needed to be doing that from the tip.
Your bench had a lot of key moments today. Just what do you think of their ability to be ready when their number was called?
I think that's important. We talk about it all the time. You got to seize your moment, and you never know. There were a couple girls that didn't play in the first 2 quarters, came in and gave me high quality, high caliber minutes in the 3rd quarter. And you've got to be ready whenever your number is called. I think we can go deep in our bench, and the lineups changed. We had lineups that we haven't even really. We had to go to a full guard lineup more frequently than we normally would. Especially as we get later in the season. But when those moments called, they made the adjustments. They shifted. They did what they needed to stay confident and execute. Especially down the stretch when we had some different guard lineups.
And then Harmony, especially in overtime, kind of took over offensively. What's made her and Bonnie, both freshmen, just this ready to start playing college basketball?
I think part of it is the off season. I mean, the off season, the preseason. I think that really did help us. We've been in the weight room hard. We've ran a lot in the preseason, and then a lot of individual work that helped prepare them. But I think allowing them to realize that it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter if you're a freshman or a senior. Everybody's got to be ready for their moment. We have a young team, and everything's new, and we've got to be ready to seize each and every moment that we have.
Do you have an update on Yvette, maybe when we can expect her?
I would say soon. She's able to do more right now. She's got released to get some movement, so I would expect it probably within a week, hopefully.
In her absence, what do you think that's done for the team learning to play without her, especially at the point guard spot?
I think it's allowed us to really step up. I think it's allowed other players to get some really high-quality minutes because we're going to need that depth. Basketball's a long season. It covers two semesters. And so we have to have every person on our team ready for whatever moment they've got to give us. Like I told him today, you might have to give me a few extra points, a few extra rebounds, a little bit more hype. You might have to make a big free throw or big shot. But whatever we need from you, you've got to be willing to give it. And I think getting these young players a lot of quality minutes early is going to help us down the stretch.
Thanks, Coach.